Hey everyone, it's me, Ivone Emil Elizondo from Solar Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, and I am here with your update for this upcoming full moon that happens on October 20th at about 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And let's talk about this because I anticipate that this is going to be a fiery, intense, energized, fiery, potentially explosive, fiery. Did I say fiery? Yeah, let's take a look at the chart so I can give you an idea of why I anticipate that this is going to be a pretty intense full moon. Okay, so let me show you the ins and outs and then we will talk about them. Okay, so here we go. So we have the chart up for this full moon. The full moon is in Aries. Okay, Aries is a fire sign. It's highly initiating, energized, fiery, and it is opposing the sun and Mars, two of the combustible planets. Okay, the sun is that I know it's the fireball, hello, okay, and Mars is the god of war and agitation, and so yeah, when you put that together, you know what can happen. And all of this energy right here is squaring Pluto in Capricorn, and then the moon is also squaring that Pluto in Capricorn. So yes, so there is a triangle here. So whenever we have this type of formation, this is the planet that usually takes the brunt, or is where the energy is going to seep out of, right? It's the apex of that aspect. So that is what we are looking at. So now let me explain to you what all of that means, if you don't know. And if you do, great, just follow along with me. Okay, so Aries full moon, Aries is a fire sign. It's initiating, it is go, it is explosive, it is impulsive. It doesn't think before it acts. So sometimes when that moon is in Aries, it makes us feel like open mouth, insert foot, right? So there's a lot of fire between Aries. If you have any Aries people in your life, you may know that they don't ask, they just do, right? Because there's that sense of initiating, of movement, of going out there, forcing, of doing, of, you know, just like a huge rocket just going, okay? It may also run out of steam, but when the moon, our sense of feeling and security is in Aries, okay, our sense of emotions is in Aries, we may feel explosive, we may feel fiery, we may feel like we got to do, like we got to go, we may be impulsive in nature, okay? But that moon also can be, you know, aggressive, and it can be overly assertive sometimes, and it can create a lot of friction emotionally, internally, and, you know, within our own experience. So yes, we have a very fiery full moon that's happening here, but the addition to that is that that moon is opposite of the two planets that feel super comfortable in Aries. Yeah, it is Mars and the sun. So we have these two planets opposite of where the moon is, which means that these two planets rule. They're a little bit stronger than the moon. So the poor moon has to defer over to the sun and Mars. And the sun is that fireball, right? It's the essence. But when Mars gets together with the sun, there can be like an explosion, agitation, frustration, okay, separation, just feeling like overly heated, inflammation, okay, anything dealing with like that heated essence and overheated essence. And so that's why I'm saying that this full moon might be a tad bit more fiery. Now, I would say a tad bit and leave it at that, but it isn't, because this Mars energy, although Mars in Libra, okay, doesn't always do very well, okay? Mars is not at home in Libra, it's at home in Aries. It's not at home in Libra, which means that this fire energy can be either misdirected or it can just get out of hand very quickly, okay? So it's kind of like I don't know how many of you used to light fireworks. I don't anymore because I'm kind of scared of them now because they're fire. And you light one of those rockets and it goes, that's the potential for this moon opposing this Mars sun energy, right? Now I would leave it at that, but we have Pluto in the mix. So that Plutonic energy either intensifies to a billionth degree or it breaks things down to the nuclear level, right? That molecular level. Molecular? Yes. I am not a scientist, so please forgive me, all scientists, if I just blew that, but it makes things really, 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 really small. Okay. And in this full moon, I have the feeling that it's going to make things a lot bigger because of all of that fire energy that is involved in the Aries part of the chart where the moon is. And then with all of that fire, the sun and Mars in Libra. Now, Libra is a social connection sign. It's an air sign. It's about the mind and the beauty of the mind. And so this full moon, you may experience more separation or frustration or, you know, overly energized type of social connections. And with the addition of Pluto in there, there can be a breakdown, okay, or an intensification of that already fiery, of that already fiery type of energy. And so I would say be very cautious with your social connections, okay? Aries is about the self, whereas Libra on the opposite side is about the partnership. So you may have to battle through the division of the self versus being in partnership, and that's where that conflict comes in. And conflict is a pretty good word for this full moon. So there may be a conflict of interest, there may be a conflict of emotional, agitation. There may be a conflict of social relationships and contracts. So this is a type of energy that we're going to be working with, and that's why I say it's going to be a pretty, fiery full moon. Now, if you are going to set intentions or release the intentions that you set from the new moon, and you're going to release them with all of this fire energy, I would caution you, fire is not an element to play around with. I learned my lesson again, because I kind of did a blessing spell on a really close to loved one, and it was all fire herbs and fire element that I used, and they ended up with a fever, They ended up with a fever. Oh, so now I'm doing the opposite and trying to cool all that down. But anyhow, this is what can happen with this full moon. This is what I feel. You may release those intentions, but if you don't have a very good contingency plan, like, I don't know, goggles and like a fire extinguisher nearby, things can go very, very wrong, because things can get very quickly inflamed, okay, agitated. But if you can harness this energy and make sure you know how to contain it, because it could be like a nuclear bomb, right? You can do some pretty cool stuff with it. You just have to be really sure that you know what you're doing. And I'm going to leave you with that. If you want to learn more about your astrology, please visit me tomorrow, because my website should be up tomorrow at Silver Moon Counseling, Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling. But you can find me or email me at info@silvermooncounseling.org. That's info@silvermooncounseling.org. And good luck, everybody. Okay, like have some ice around, ice packs. Inflammation is what we're anticipating, separation, agitation, energy, but you've got to make sure that you are able to contain it. All right, take care, everyone. Happy full moon in Aries.